One day, through the rosary and the scapular, Our Lady will save the world. Hello, my friends, and welcome to True Heroes. Today we're going to look at the life of Saint Dominic, who founded the Dominican order, or the Order of Preachers, and was the main spearhead, if you will, to spreading the devotion to the Most Holy Rosary. Let us begin his story. Well, before he was born, when his mother was pregnant with him, she dreamt that she was carrying in her womb a little dog holding a torch in his mouth, with which, as soon as he was born, he would set fire to the world. So it is almost a prophetic dream, prophecy quasi, of how much he was going to bring the world back to God. We've heard other saints talk about how the spreading of the Catholic faith is like a fire. St. Catherine of Siena, I think, and there was another saint who said, if you are who you should be, you will set the world ablaze. That is to say, bringing souls back to God. Anyway, St. Dominic was born at Calaruga in Spain, of the noble family of the Guzmanson in 1170, and went through the theological studies at Palencia. As a student, he sold his books to feed the poor in a famine and offered himself in ransom for a slave. And unfortunately, we don't have any more details regarding that story. At the age of 25, he became superior of the canons regular at Osma and accompanied his bishop to France. Now, the greatest trial of the Catholic world at this time was the Albigensian heresies, or Albigenian heresy, which was a form of Catharism, which basically preached that the entire world is a war between good and evil, which is represented by the spirit and the material world. So it's another idea, and we've seen this before, I think we've talked about this before, where all material things are bad and evil, and therefore anything material should be rejected as something that comes from the devil. Obviously this isn't true, but this is what was really, this belief was really starting to spread in the Catholic world at the time of St. Dominic. For this end, he established his threefold religious order, his end to battling this heresy. So firstly, he established a convent of nuns, and then a company of apostolic men, which became the Order of Preachers, as we've already mentioned. And he also established a group of tertiaries, which is a group of men and women who live in the world but help the spread of the order and the spread of Catholic teaching. God blessed the new order, and France, Italy, Spain, and England welcomed the preaching friars. Our Lady took them under her special protection, and she was even seen whispering to St. Dominic as he preached. And it was in 1208, while St. Dominic knelt in the little chapel of Notre Dame de la Paix and implored the Great Mother of God to save the Church, that Our Lady appeared to him, gave him the rosary, and bade him go forth and preach it. So, as I've already mentioned, St. Dominic was the one who took the rosary. Our Lady actually gave him the rosary, and he began the spreading of that devotion. And beads in hand, he revived the courage of the Catholic troops and led them to victory against overwhelming numbers, and finally crushed the Albigensian heresy. His nights were spent in prayer, and though pure as a virgin, thrice before morning broke, he scourged himself to blood. His words rescued countless souls, and 3 times he raised the dead to life. Monasteries were built by his means in every part of the world, and through his teaching, numbers of men embraced a holy and religious manner of life. At length, in the year of Christ, 1221, he fell into a fever at Bologna. When he saw he was about to die, calling together his brethren and children, he exhorted them to innocence and purity of life, and left them as their true inheritance the virtues of charity, humility, and poverty. While the brethren were praying round him at the words, come to his aid, ye saints of God, run to meet him, O ye angels, he fell asleep in the Lord. On the 6th of August, Pope Gregory IX placed him among the saints. From the life of Saint Dominic, let us have a true devotion to Our Lady and to the Rosary. We keep talking about what Our Lady desires of us, what Our Lady desires of the world, and especially at Fatima, and what her message was to the 3 children there, as well as to Bernadette Soubirous in Lourdes. We really need to have this devotion to her Rosary. We've had so many saints talk about the Rosary and talk about the power of the Rosary. Saint Therese of Lisieux said that there is no problem in the world, no matter how difficult, that can't be solved by the recitation of the Rosary. Pope Pius IX said, "Give me an army saying the Rosary and I will conquer the world." So let us have that devotion of saying the Rosary every day. It's just a few minutes, really. It's 12 to 15 minutes to pray a 5-decade Rosary. So let us do so with devotion and with love for the Mother of God. Tomorrow is the feast of the dedication of the Church of St. Mary of the Snow, which is also known as St. Mary Major in Rome. So I think tomorrow, if I have time, I will just describe the church, describe its history, what is kept there, and any other interesting details or facts about it. Until then, God bless you all, my friends. Saint Dominic, pray for us.